Okay, so let me first get on the site. It is called Full Look. Oh, I already logged in. So, alright, so this is the home page of it. There are these tabs. The first one is about training all of these subjects, mini practice, sample practice. So I believe this should have all of the longer type of tests, exam experience, gift, and game. Okay, so let's go to the training. So on the training page, you can see all of these subjects here. These subjects will be on the test, and the test is multiple choice of 30 questions. So let's go to math. Okay, for the math part, okay, so I see. First, student will have to learn the vocab. I believe the public students are very familiar with the concept already, but they just don't have the math terms. So first they have to learn that first. So let's click on fraction. Here are all of the vocabs in the fraction chapter. Okay, so just not only the vocab, but also some of the rules. That's kind of remind the students of equivalent fraction here. And for each of them, they have the button where student can listen to the word, compare. It's actually very clear and slow. The meaning and pictures. And as you can see, some of the math important principles are here as well in English. Okay. After the student familiar with all of the vocabs, then they would go to the vocab check. With all of these 6 games, I believe it would help students to kind of practice the vocabs and check if he or she actually remember all of them. Let's go to game 1. Okay, so you are actually dragging the meaning of it to the correct word. So it means natural numbers. Okay, so I get 1 correct and should have 1 red apple. These 4 green apples here are the maximum amount of time that you can have wrong. So if I get 1 wrong, then 1 green apple will disappear. So let's say, if, for example, this is not quotient, but I'm still going to do quotient. Okay, there you go. One of my things are gone. Okay, so you continue to do this until you get all correct. Quotient, divide, and division. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty good. Game 2. So game 2, actually you listen to the speakers and write out the word. I think she said natural number. Okay. Okay, so now she said division, but how about I just put in quotient? Okay, wrong. All right, so division. Okay. Natural number. Okay, that's good. So that's like raining word. What happened if I keep getting it wrong? So, okay, so if I click on the wrong word, then it's disappearing. It's kind of give you a hint of what's left to choose. Game 4, rearrange the letters. Equivalent. Okay, so I'm bored. 5, 6, nothing for 5 and 6. So there are 4 games the student can play to check their vocab. And once they're done with the vocab, they go into the quick quiz. So this is concept of fraction. There are 2 quizzes available. I'm going to pick on the first one. So you have the time running here. You have 10 minutes, and you can do it in for 5 questions. Okay, so let's try some of them. the red part, 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 8/12. So be 2/3. Alright, so I'm lazy, so I'm just gonna randomly pick the answer. Can't count anyway. Alright, so I have the 2 that I actually did right and the rest was wrong. Click on the explanation. Now let's see. Okay, so if you have it wrong here, it's basically tell you the explanation and the correct answer. The explanation is pretty detailed. So if you understand the fraction, just like at a very, very basic level, you should be able to understand the explanation. Okay, so after the quiz, you can do actually another quiz, because there are 2 quizzes for you. Okay, pretty similar, very colorful. Still 5 questions in 10 minutes. All right, that's good. Okay, so students actually continue to do all of these in order. First, learn the vocab, do a quick quiz. I actually check the vocab and then do a quick quiz until he or she is done with the fraction chapter. Once you're done with the training part, you go to the short practice. And the short practice, including, there's a lot of practices here. How did I log in? I didn't. So I can pick number 1. That's kind of weird because this would means like very comprehensive test already. It doesn't actually specifically about fraction anyway. Yeah, so it has English, science. Okay, it has some math. How many math questions in the 30 questions, I wonder? So there's 1, 2. Good luck with this. 3, 4, 5, 6. That's kind of logic. I don't know if it's math. So 6, 7, 8. So 8 out of 30 questions on math on the test. So that's how many percent? A divided by 30 is about 26%. Okay, so once you're done, you have a bunch of practice tests, I think. It's pretty simple. Very short questions, and you have about 45 minutes to complete the 30 questions. So once you're done, you can go to the, not like the training practice, but like the real practice. So let me click on them, one of them. All right, so this is similar to the one that we had. So I wasn't sure what is the real difference between the training test and it said the sample entrance test. They are pretty similar. Very similar, actually. I think it's a small test. Why don't they put them all together? And here on the top of the tabs, you're going to see the real test from the past years, from 2015 to 2017. I'm going to click on the 2017. And actually only 24 questions. Okay, so this is the real test for Trần Đại Nghĩa. Whoa. Question is actually it's pretty similar, but a little bit longer, a little bit more wordy, I think. So there's some logical thinking in here. Look at the word problems in the real test is much longer. It's just very wordy, which is a real challenge to the public students because, you know, like when they say English question, they already give up already. So you can see there is a lot of type of questions covering all of the subjects. History. Wow, interesting. Science, English, and of course Vietnam's literature. So it's not just maths, it's more like logical thinking in here as well. Huh, that's cute. Yeah, but I think it's still about 23% of the portion as I go through the test. Okay? And once you're done with all of these, you can go into the ranking tab. The ranking tab is actually, so if you've done test number 1 and you click on test number 1, it would allow you to see all of the people that have done this same test, their score and the amount of time, so you know where you are in the public. That's really bad if I had to take a test, because there are a lot of students score perfectly and they've done the test less than 1 minute. I don't know, this is like impossible in a way. Yeah, don't believe this. Look at how many people getting like perfect score in less than 2 minutes. Wow. Okay. So next would be the test taking experience. Probably it's like a Q&A portal for people to get the resource. Okay, so first tab here, you will see all of the resources. It's like extra materials. I'm going to check a look at. Okay, so this first one is about the geometry of Vietnam. This kind of summarize what they had to know, like one of the topics that they need to know very well for the test. This would be very similar to the handouts that we get from school. If schooling doesn't change for the past 10 years, I still remember. Geography, math, okay, 100 problems. Let's see, what is this? Okay, so there's more practice and more resources for people to get access and just do it on their own. Well, that's a lot. All right, so you have real sample test, so it's kind of replicated. Oh, so here you have, not only the multiple choice, you have to do the essay written part 2. I didn't know that. Wow, it's heavily in English, and this is the newest test for Trần Đại Nghĩa Middle School. Okay, that's not bad. But it's heavily like, let's see, what is this? It's like a lot of English. Okay, some Vietnamese are here, thank God. Okay. Now it's more challenging because they don't have the choice of guessing, but it's really testing what you actually know and the ability to express in English. 10 questions for 45 minutes. That's pretty tight. All right, so you have all of these resources. And in here, okay, it's more specific. It's more specific. The entrance test from the past. So in the sample test, there's only 3 tests, three reason tests, but here you can find like all of them since 2001 from Trần Đại Nghĩa. Okay, that's more practice. And then you have Q&A. All right, so what is the passing score?